I'm Sue Brunning and I'm the curator of the Early Medieval Insular Collection here at the British Museum. And I'm going to talk to you today about this object, which is one of the new objects that you can see in the recently reopened Room 41, the Gallery of Early Medieval Europe. Now, I say it's a new object, but actually it's an object that we've always had in the collection, we just didn't realise that we had it in the collection. So this material that's around it here comes from a Viking woman's grave in Norway from the AD 800s. And as part of that group of material was a bunch of sort of organic materials kind of all bundled up together, like leather and feathers and textiles and things like that. And one of my colleagues during his research noticed a few years ago that in one of these bundles there was a sort of edge of metal poking out of one end. And so he was intrigued by this and he sent it off for x-raying. And what he discovered inside was this picture that you can see on the label here, which is an x-ray of an object inside that mount. And we can see from the detail of the x-ray that it looked to be some kind of mount or brooch, and the decoration on it suggested that it had come from either Ireland or Scotland. And so our conservators spent the next few months painstakingly excavating it from this lump of material, and eventually revealed this spectacularly beautiful mount that's a gilded copper alloy, that's decorated with very fine interlace, and three creatures forming a sort of loop around a central roundel. And it dates to around the 700s to 800s, so it was probably old by the time it went into the grave in Norway, and it had found its way to Norway from Ireland or Scotland through some means which we can only really speculate about. But what's interesting also is that it originally was a mount that was attached to some kind of larger object. Again, we don't know what that object was. But at some point later on, perhaps in Norway, it was adapted into a brooch by adding a pin on the back. And so it may have been made into something that this woman was wearing. She was wearing it in the grave. And so it's something that she appeared to have cherished, some kind of special treasure that had come from overseas that she then made into her own, something to wear. So again, it's one of our new objects in the gallery, sort of new, and one of the highlights that you can come